Hi, welcome to another episode of Comics Review. I'm your host, Kevin Starkey. The first comic I'm going to talk about today is A Game of Thrones, issue number 2 from Dynamite Entertainment. This is based on the George R.R. Martin book and the HBO series. This was adapted by Daniel Abraham. I'm not going to say a whole lot about this. My wife's reading the books. We're planning to get the series, season 1, on DVD when it comes out. Looks good to both of us. She really enjoyed the book. She actually read the first comic and enjoyed it, and is anxious to get this number 2. I haven't given it to her yet to read. I had a difficult time with the first one. A lot of new names and places that I'm not familiar with, so it was a little challenging to sort of follow it. And the second one is a lot easier to follow. I really enjoyed reading this one. The artwork's cool. It's kind of a neat story, fantasy stuff. Anxious to see where it goes. I've sort of heard a little bit about the series from some reviewers online, and sounds good. Sounds like it's got a strange ending to the last book, so I don't want to give anything away there. I'm enjoying it. I would say I'd rate it a good solid 3.5 out of 5. Fun read, kind of serious, and not a funny comic at all. The next comic I'm going to talk about is The Vault. This is issue number 3 of 3 from Image Comics. Sam Sarkar and Gary Gastani are the writer and artist on this, and this is the wrap up of this story. It's a bunch of treasure hunters basically, and they find this stash, and there's some supernatural scary stuff involved in it. I don't want to give much of it away. And this issue gets a lot more exciting than the previous ones. A lot of stuff happens that I don't want to spoil, and then there's a cool ending. The artwork in here is decent. It's pretty dark because it's in a ship and there's a storm, so but it's not too hard to follow, and you can see everything. There's a sort of a thing here, you probably can't see it on this, but there's a creature there that I won't spoil too much. Neat story. It would make a good cheesy movie on the Sci-Fi Channel, something like that. Stuff that my wife loves to watch. So I would rate the series overall a good solid 3.5 out of 5. Decent story. The next comic I'm going to talk about is Dead Man's Run. This is issue number 0 from Aspen Comics, and this one I knew nothing about going into it. The artwork is fair. The writing is okay. The story, though, is kind of cool. It's kind of a neat premise. Let me show you that cool shot there. It's basically about a prison where all of the prisoners and all of the jailers, I guess, are underground. There's some guards on the top level, and something happens to signify to the people in that this guy works there at the prison, although he doesn't really know anything about what goes on there because he never sees the prisoners. It's hell, basically, is the premise of this thing. It's like a supernatural underground prison, and an escape is about to happen, I guess, and they're trying to stop it, basically, is I guess the premise of this whole thing. And some of the guys stumble on, it looks like a stash of gold bars. Some of the guys that are going in to protect or to prevent a breakout find this and sort of become interested in it, I guess. Kind of a neat story. I might pick up the second one and see where it goes. It's hard to say. I'll rate this a 2.5, sort of in the middle. I have to see more of it to see where they're gonna go. but it's pretty good. It's decent. And last comic I'm going to talk about is All-Star Western issue number 2 from DC Comics. I talked about this last time for issue number 1. This is Jim Palmiotti, Justin Gray, Moore Tat, and Jordy Burnett. A lot of names on this. And it's cool. It takes place in Gotham, back in the 1800s, I guess. And Jonah Hex is in this, and Amadeus Arkham. They've sort of teamed up to figure out what's going on there. These prostitutes in town are getting murdered, and Arkham brought Jonah Hex in to help figure out what's going on, and he's sort of being like a Sherlock Holmes, but you know, sort of a Western version. Kicks butt, kills a lot of bad guys, and there's this sort of crime syndicate, these lords of crime, I think is what they refer to them as. Yeah, the lords of crime. And there's this thing called a crime Bible, and these lords of crime sent their horde of murderers to try to wipe out Jonah Hex and Arkham. And you know, Jonah pretty much takes care of them and finds one of their guys and sort of tortures and questions them and gets information about, you know, what's going on a little bit. And here's the Lords of Crime, and they've taken the chief of police into custody, and you know, they wanted him to sort of be their guy or whatever, and I guess he sort of said no, he wasn't going to do that, and so they're going to try to whack him. And Jonah and Arkham bust in to try to save him, and he was never a fan of Jonah being there in the first place, so it's kind of ironic a little bit. And then it sort of has a little cliffhanger there. And then there's a second story in the back about El Diablo, the devil. Well, that's Spanish for the devil. And it's this guy who has a sort of a demon or whatever inside of him, where it can do things if he's knocked out or asleep. And he sort of stumbles on this town full of zombies, it looks like, and a few survivors, you know, rescue him, and then he decides he's gonna rescue them, and they need to knock him out so that he can be this El Diablo character. The artwork in this story is not as good as the artwork in the Jonah Hex story, although the Jonah Hex artwork is not amazing or anything. It's good. This artwork is sort of pretty old school, kind of cheesy. Coloring is kind of cheesy. I wasn't as excited about this story, although it's kind of neat. So I'm still pretty excited about this series. Mostly the Jonah Hex story, not the other one. Good series. Rated a 3.5, I guess. Pretty good. And let me quickly go over the other comics I got this week. Here's Fly, issue number 5 from Zenescope. This is the end of volume 1. They mentioned in the back here there's going to be a volume 2 coming out in 2012. I haven't read this yet, so I can't comment on exactly, but it's a neat series, and I'm anxious to see how they wrap up this first volume, and I'll probably, likely, if I like it, I'm sure I'll get the second one, volume 2. Here's Brimstone from Zenescope? Yeah, Zenescope. Issue number 6. That's kind of a neat Western series. Cool artwork. I'm enjoying that one. Here's The Red Wing, issue number 404 from Image Comics. It's sort of a sci-fi, kind of a neat story. Not the greatest artwork in the world, but it's fair. Cool series. Here's The Last Zombie, Brian Keene comic. Issue number 4. This is Inferno. This is from Antarctic Press. Black and white comic, zombies. And it's a cool series. I'm enjoying it. Similar to Walking Dead, although this is more interpersonal relationships and story. Not so much zombie stuff in that. And here's The Sixth Gun, issue number 16 from Oni Press. It's an ongoing series. I'm really enjoying that one a lot. And here is Star Trek #2 from IDW. It's got the guys from the movie, and then here's a Pike from the old series, the original series. I think this. What I heard was that this is about. They take stories from the original series and put the new people from the new movie into those stories and retell the story with the new people. But I'm not sure why Pike from the old show's on here. It'll be interesting to see what that's. I think that's Pike. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it's not Pike. It's another character. Oh well. Here's Green Wake, issue #6 from Image Comics. I think this is the final issue on that. This has been a weird series. I think I considered dropping it. Not sure if there's any more. I probably am. Let me see. Next issue. Yeah, there is a next issue. This one better wow me, or I'm probably gonna drop it. The next comic, 27, second set. This is issue #2 from Image Comics. I've talked about that one a few times. Cool artwork, neat story. Enjoying that one quite a lot. And as always, The Walking Dead Weekly from Image, issue #43. And that's it for this week. Please leave a comment here on YouTube or over my blog at twodognight.net. Let me know what you're reading. Have you read any of the stuff I talked about? And I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.